Have you ever wondered why can I stay disciplined for 3 reasons and suddenly go back to my old habits? You made a plan, you get excited, you tell yourself this time I'm going to be consistent. And for a few days you are, then you go back to the same people, the same conversation, the same environment, the same distraction, and slowly the old version of you comes back. So here is the question I want you to think about today. What if your problem is not your discipline? What if your environment is training you to be the person you are trying to outgrow? Stay with me because thousands of years ago, the Vedic tradition understood something very powerful about this. It is called satsang. Namaste, Karyans. I'm Vanitha Ganeshmurthy, founder of Karyasiddi Productivity Hub and your Vedic Karyan productivity coach. Welcome back to Vedic Productivity Talks. This is episode 330, day 12 of our 21 day of the race of the Karyan season 3. Over the last few episodes, we have been working on the inner world of a Karyan. We have explored the warrior mind, we have separated ourselves from the mental noise, we have explored abundance, we have talked about discipline, stillness, purpose, but today we are going to look at this something outside you. Yes, it's all about your environment because you can have the strongest intention in the world, but if your environment constantly pulls you in the opposite direction, consistency becomes a battle. So today, let's discover the power of satsang. Let's begin. Let me ask you something. Think about the person you become when you are alone, and think about the person you become around certain people. Are they the same? Maybe you're focused when you are alone, but when you are with certain friends, you lose hours. Maybe you're ambitious, but every time you talk about your dream, someone says, be realistic. Maybe you're trying to build discipline, but everyone around you is constantly complaining about how difficult everything is. Slowly, without even noticing, their thinking becomes your thinking. Their standard becomes your standards. Their habits becomes your habits. And one day you wonder what happened to me. Nothing happened to you. Your environment was shaping you. The word satsang comes from two ideas. Sat is truth, which tells is real. Sangha, that is association or company. So satsang is more than simply being around nice people. It is keeping company with truth, wisdom, and people who support your higher direction. The Vedic tradition understood that human beings are influenced by what they repeatedly hear, see, discuss, and practice. Think about it. If every conversation around you is about problems, what happens to your mind? It starts looking for problems. If every conversation is about comparison, you start comparing. If everyone around you gives up easily, quitting starts feeling normal. But when you spend time with people who say, let's find a solution, let's learn, let's try again, what is the next step? Something changes. Your standard changes, your thinking changes, your identity begins to change. That's the power of the satsang. The modern productivity talks about it. Today, we take a lot of time and talk about a lot of about discipline. Wake up early, plan your day, track your habits, use productivity tools, build routines. All of these are useful. But let me ask you something. What happens after your routine ends? You return to that environment. And if that environment reinforces distraction, your discipline has to fight all day. That's exhausting, isn't it? Imagine trying to swim upstream every single day. Eventually, you get tired. The answer is not always try harder. Sometimes the answer is change the current. A Karyan understands three things. Point number one, your environment shapes your normal. What you repeatedly see becomes normal. What you repeatedly hear becomes normal. What you everyone around you accepts even eventually starts accepting. Point number two, your circle influences your standards. If everyone around you is comfortable with mediocrity, ambition starts feeling strange. But when you are around people committed to growth, growth becomes normal. You don't have to constantly convince yourself to improve, the environment reminds you. Point number three, consistency becomes easier when identity is supported. Imagine you decide, I am becoming a Karyan, disciplined. Then you enter a community where people are also taking action. Someone asks, did you complete your commitment today? You say no, and suddenly you remember what you're trying to become. That's accountability, not pressure, alignment. Let me share something I see often. A small story. Someone comes to meet me and says, Vanitha, I know what to do. I have a plan, I have a tools, but I don't stay consistent, and I ask them, who are you surrounded by? And there is usually a pause because we immediately look at ourselves. What is wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? But sometimes the better question is, what is around me? If you're trying to become disciplined, but every evening your environment is built around distraction, that's going to be difficult. If you're trying to build a business, but everyone around you constantly tells you why it won't work, that's going to affect you. If you're trying to become healthier, but your environment constantly encourages unhealthy habits, you're fighting two battles, one against the habit, other against the environment. A Karyan leads to stop fighting unnecessary battles. So, here is something I want you to do today. Take a piece of paper, write down five people you interact with most frequently. Don't judge them, don't label them, just observe. Then ask, after spending time with this person, do I feel closer to the person I want to become? That's it. Nothing like, are they good? Not, are they bad? Simply, who am I becoming around them? That's a powerful question because sometimes you don't need a new goal, you need a new circle. Your sadhana for today is, for the next 7 days, intentionally spend 15 minutes every day with someone, something, or some community that elevates your thinking. Even reading a good books will add lots of value to you. It could be a mentor, a meaningful conversation, a Vedic teaching, a growth oriented community, a book, a reflection practices, and after those 15 minutes, ask yourself, what did this association awaken in me? Do this for 7 days, watch what happens. Before you leave, I want you to sit with one question. Is my current environment supporting the Karyan I am becoming? Not the person you were, not the person others expect you to be, the Karyans you are becoming. Think about that because your environment may not control your destiny, but it can influence your daily decision, and your daily decision build your destiny. And that is exactly why I created the Vedic Karyan Launchpad, because transformation is difficult when you try to do everything alone. You can listen to podcasts, read books, watch videos, make plans, but eventually you need to practice. You need people who understand the journey, people who are also trying to become more disciplined, more focused, more purposeful, more consistent, like a Karyan. That's what community gives you. Not someone to tell you what to do, but people who remind you who you are becoming. The Launchpad is designed to take Vedic productivity for knowledge into implementation because I don't want you to simply become someone who knows about the Karyan mindset. I want you to become a Karyan. And Karyans race together. So here is your action for today. Don't just comment. My environment matters. Do something. Choose one conversation, choose one person, choose one community, choose one environment that moves you closer to the person you're becoming. And if you feel that's been trying to transform alone, come and experience the Vedic Karyan Launchpad. Become something. The missing productivity tool is not another tool, it is the right circle. If today's episode made you look differently at your environment, share it with someone who needs to hear this. Subscribe to Vedic Productivity Talks and in the comments, complete the sentence. The Karyan I am becoming needs an environment that fill it with the comment. Tomorrow we continue our race of the Karyan journey. One Vedic principle, one practical action, 1% growth every single day. Until then, think like a Karyan, live like a Karyan, race like a Karyan, one baby step at a time. Be productive and take care. Bye. Jai Hind.